I've been ready for 5 minutes. Let's go. So, any questions from those of you who did do the class last week? No? Nothing? You've got it? 100%? Makes complete sense what we did? It's quite simple, wasn't it? Yeah. So we're just going to incrementally add a little bit, no big change each week, same thing, and then add a little bit more, add a little bit more. And I know this, actually for you this will make a bit more sense, and for some of those watching the recording, I just want to clarify that it isn't Uddiyana Bandha, even though it looks kind of similar. It is, just to reiterate, just to exercise to release tightness in the diaphragm, and we will get to Uddiyana Bandha in due course, and you'll feel there's a little bit of a difference. But this certainly will help some of the other internal practices later down the line. Right. Okay. So let's start. Feet together, turn your toes out, bring your hands onto your lower belly. Tune into your breath. Feel into the soles of your feet. Feel your toes against the floor. And from the back of the head, release down, base of the skull, neck, upper back and shoulders. Keep releasing down the lower ribs, the region of the kidneys. Keep softening down through the lower back into the region of the sacrum and the buttocks. Try and relax any tension you may be holding in the glutes. Keep releasing down, softening down the back of the legs for your hamstrings. To your calves. Feel into your heels. Try and get the weight right bang center in the center of the heels. Tip of the tongue on your palate, just behind your teeth. Throat soft. Relax across the chest, the top of the chest, under the collarbones. See if you can release the lower abdomen into the hands, like a pot. And you breathe into the pot. So at the moment, I'm not really thinking about the diaphragm, just touching in on the basics. Now notice if you're tensing your thighs, are you pulling up on your thigh muscles? Try and relax the thighs, relax the quads. So there's a feeling of like release downwards towards the tops of the feet and into the toes. And then just be in that stance a little while longer, checking in with those different places I mentioned. And what happens is some areas are relaxed and other areas are tense. It pulls you off your centre. You find you wobble around a little bit. If you can effectively keep all of those areas at least fairly relaxed, you'll find that you don't wobble so much. You're pretty centred. You feel like you're balanced on your centre line. And the mind becomes active, some part of the body tenses up again, pulls you off your centre, you start wobbling and you're off again. Alright, good. Release your hands, take your feet apart, and we'll do this one, start with this one today. So get your balance, and then so you're taking 99% of the weight from the standing leg, so you can really get full range of movement through your ankle. Do about 10 of them, and then when you're ready, go the other way. If you like to count 8 or 10, you can just do it a bit more by feeling. Whatever is your preferred method. And another side. I used to be quite obsessive with my counting, but as time's gone on, I tend to just do it more on how it feels now. Other way, when you're ready. Let's do this one today. Interlock, roll. Biggest movement you can get in your wrists, but also feel into your elbow joints. Feel down the muscles of your forearm into the elbows. And then the other way. Still releasing down your back. When we started, all the way down into the heels. And then release. So from straight elbows, fully straight, just sort of picture this centre line here. And then you trace that centre line. And feeling a gathering in to the lower belly. Full extension through the arm without hardening the joints. Extension without hardening the joints. It's actually strangely tiring, this one, I think. Other way. Feeling more into the chest, your heart, your lungs. Gathering energy into the chest. Be aware of that space in the armpits. Alright. Let's do this one next. So, exhale. Stay on your centre line. Inhale, turn the head one way. Exhale back to centre. Inhale, turn the other way. Exhale back to centre. Carry on. So now you can start to bring a bit more awareness into the diaphragm. Notice any feeling of restriction through that area as you turn the head, so just under the ribs. So there is a difference. Sometimes you genuinely have stiffness in the neck. When you try and turn the head, you feel, oh, that muscle inside of my neck is a bit tight. But other times you'll turn and you'll feel a restriction in the turning action, how far you can turn the head, but the restriction's not in the neck. It's lower down. So notice for yourself, is there any restriction under the rib cage in the diaphragm? One more round. jaw relaxed. Alright, and then chin down, and then you can decide if you've got any issues with your neck, you can just do a roll from one shoulder to the other. Otherwise, you can do full circles, you can do 5 one way, 5 the other way. Unless you're someone who does quite fast head circling, in which case you can do maybe a bit more, 8 or 10. Be conscious of where you might feel some pulling, maybe in the neck, maybe somewhere else, the chest, maybe somewhere more in the head, maybe somewhere on the temple, the jaw might be restricting you. And then we're done with that, we will bring the hands. So before we do the next one, we now will check in a little bit with the diaphragm. So hands round the upper waist, so under the ribs. So see how much you can remember from the last session. So before I say anything, I'm going to give you at least a few breaths to feel your way into this. See if you can remember what we're doing, and any little trick we use to help tune into the diaphragm if you couldn't feel it. Let's give people a chance to remember stuff for themselves first. Oh, that all looks good. Looks like everyone here is remembering quite well. So like a disc, that's kind of broadening out in all directions evenly. There'll be some parts you'll feel that more easily, some parts not so much. So for me, for example, this part on my right, I can expand nice and easily. This part on my left, it's a bit kind of sinks in, a bit deficient there. And likewise on the back, one side's a little bit easier than the other. So it's almost like, for me, the disc is not expanding out in all directions. It's going a bit more there, but less here and less here. So it's this kind of weird, I don't know, irregular shape. So if that's happening for you, what we can do is do that little cough. It's like, oh yeah, there it is. I can feel that now. Now I can really focus my attention on that bit. Whereas before it was just kind of sinking in, it's sort of flaccid. Now it just went a little bit tense. Not that I'm saying we should have tension there, but just for a moment, that little bit of tension can draw your attention, and you can feel into it. So just a little trick. And it's like a natural tone, let's say. So I can tune into that tone in the muscle, and that will keep the focus on. It's like keeping your foot on the gas. Try the same on the back. Now remember, the back, because you've got this natural arch, can be quite hard to feel into this spot. So if that's the case, you have the option of bending your knees a little bit and dropping through your coccyx and sacrum a little bit, so you come into this more flat back. So it's the stance should be in. If you do any Qigong, you're kind of holding positions, your back naturally flattens out like this. But you don't have to, you can do it with straight legs. So now I can, it's like a very gentle exertion of pressure outwards towards the thumbs as I breathe in. So I'm bearing down inwardly, internally, to create that outer pressure, to make the disc expand out towards my thumb. And again, if I'm having any problem there, I can just do a little, yep, there it is. And now I can really breathe out to the thumbs. Now just for clarity, the cough and that little bit of tension, I'm not saying you should have that tension all the time. It's just to help you feel the spot you're trying to breathe into. And it's like with, well, I suppose like with other yoga postures, when you first start doing them, you might be a little bit tense, you might be trying a little bit too hard, but once you become more familiar, that over trying kind of fades off, and what you're left with underneath is this sort of natural, healthier way of doing it. Okay, so that's enough of that for now. We're going to stay focused on that region now as we circle the rib cage. So if you think of your ribs, if you think of your rib cage sitting on top of that disc, we're now rotating the ribs around on that disc. It doesn't have to be a big movement. We're just loosening up a little bit. When you're ready, you can go the other way. Notice any difference when you do the other way. For some reason, when I go this direction, I feel like a little pull on the right side. That would tell me that I'm unintentionally using some muscle there in my back to do the movement. I don't want to do it, but it's kind of firing. So then I go, right, how can I do this without tensing that muscle, without getting that pull? This is the way you've got to think about it. Alright, and then back to centre, release your hands, and nice stable stance, feet parallel, and turn. So remember, this one, you're not turning the hips, or not much. If you look down, you might see a tiny bit of a turn for your pelvis, but very, very little. And that makes you turn your waist, and you feel this sort of diagonal pulling feeling up through your waist into the ribs or towards the shoulders, and therefore you are moving through that diaphragm area. Really rooted down through the legs into the feet, like tree trunks growing down into the earth. And then you're just trying to loosen up more and more and more through that midsection. Good, and then we're going to let that fade out. Resist the urge to fidget or adjust clothing. Feel into the whole thing, feet to face. Feel into the breathing muscle. And then bring your hands onto your lower back. Heel of the hand on the lower rib, so 12th rib, where your kidney is, and relax through your thighs. When your hips go back, you can allow a little bit of a release downwards through the sacrum, so that opens up the back gently. So when you go, you don't stick your bum out like that, because if you stick your bum out, you're not going to release those muscles at all. Go the other way, but instead it's more that feeling. So this bit at the front, I'm exaggerating it, but it's like that comes in a little bit. So it goes out and it comes in. Not this much, but I'm just wanting you to see the shape. And so when I do that, this bit releases. Whereas if I do that, this doesn't release at all. Alright, good. Back to centre, feet together, circle your knees. You can do it slowly, you can do it a little bit quicker, you can do small circles, you can do bigger circles, but keep your feet flat, heels down, toes down, And between 5 to 8 to 10 even if you were going quickly. Feel that you're warming up the joints. Getting the fluid moving through the knee joints. And the ankles as well, actually. When you've done an even amount of ways, come up. And step out. Alright, so let's do the thing we did last week. So we started with this, I think lying on our backs last week, and then kneeling. Just going to go straight to the standing one today. So just to remind you, we're going to go inhale, exhale, show you first, exhale down to here, to this position, and then you're going to hold that position, and you're going to suck everything up under the ribs and make your ribs kind of flaring like a bell that's expanding at the bottom, and then you release. Or the jellyfish image works, jellyfish is kind of coming up and down like this, the diaphragm. Don't push, don't suck, push, just suck. Place. Yeah? So get used to that. We can maybe do something very, very, very slightly more forceful, don't like to use that word really, but slightly more forceful later down the line, but for now I just want you to feel what's it like to do it in a really soft way. And you can do with a little bit of breath, remember? If having the breath held out completely is kind of really freaks you out, have a little bit of breath. Okay, so breathing out there, and as you breathe in, the arms are going to come up, feeling of gathering above the head, and then you can feel that you're pulling something down through your skull, through your throat, your lungs, your abdominal organs, bend the knees, let your hands slide down to the lower thigh. Then you've pushed that last little bit of air out of your lungs, then hold the breath out. It's like you're sucking all your internal organs up under your ribs, and then you release, and you suck up, and then you release. You flare out the ribs, and then you release. The diaphragm pulls up, and then you release. And when you've had enough, you come up and you breathe in slowly, but remember, using the diaphragm.
Are you breathing? Because when you're here...
You didn't watch the recording properly, did you?
Yes, I was watching it.
I'm teasing.
But I couldn't work it out.
This bit, I'm just teasing. When your breath isn't moving now. So we'll do that. Oh, that's a long breath. Wow,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, what do they do? It's going to be passing out in a second.
That's all your singing training. Excellent. Wow. So we'll do. I'll talk you through fully that is the more difficult one. This one we're going to breathe out fully. We're going to breathe in just a little bit, and then you go hold that for the whole time.
I'm trying to do that. Yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah. So then you just do 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah? And then you might get to 2 and go, oh my god, I've got to breathe. And then you breathe. And then with practice, or if you do lots of breathing exercises, then you can do it for longer. Yeah, but no, don't breathe. That's a different thing.
Okay.
Breath of fire, apparently.
Breath of fire.
Yeah.
That one is breath. Have you never done that?
No, we call it something different anyway. Kapalabhati or Bastrika. Well, it would be more Bastrika, I think. But I don't know if it is actually Bastrika. It might be something slightly different. Anyway, we digress. Arms coming up, breathing in. Down and feel through your body. Like a coffee press. Pressing down. Pushing all those coffee grains down, down, down. All the way down. All the way into your feet. Right, so you've emptied your lungs. Now, take a quarter of an inhale. Hold it. And now do the action. Suck up, release. Suck up, release. Straighten your elbows. Keep your elbows straight there. No, on your thighs. Come up a bit higher. Yeah, that's it. You can bend your knees a little bit more perhaps there. And then when you need to breathe, just come up. And maybe what you could also do is add in this one, just to help make sure you're breathing at the right place. And now breathe in, use the diaphragm. Breathe out. Just stay here. Actually, let's add in the cough as well to make sure you're all doing it right. So breathing out. Then cough. Now breathe out.
that.
Swallow. We'll go straight into the next one from here. Exhale. That makes sense. What we were doing there, does that make sense?
When you do it standing up, is that a quarter breath or a full breath?
You can just breathe in fully. So do ask the question, because if you're not sure, then no doubt someone else isn't going to be sure as well. So just ask the question.
Straight.
Yeah, because you're leaning, you're sort of braced. Thing is, if you're not braced, if you're kind of standing like this, then you are going to be using some muscles to hold yourself up, which doesn't mean you can't do it. But if you're like this and you can carry on. Yeah. If you are just really leaning into your arms, it allows you to really soften this more easily. Not sure? Seriously, any questions? This is the time to ask the questions. This is the second
when you're
session.
Like this, and you're clutching in and out.
Yeah?
But you're not doing any breathing.
Yes, correct. Correct.
Why?
Ha! Well, it's interesting you should say that. Because I talked about it last week. Is that when things are done on the exhale retention, it gets a bit hot as well. On the exhale retention, it brings up the unconscious fear of death.
Right.
Which is why for some people it's just too much. They can't do it. Which is why you give the option for a little bit of air. You can keep going if you want, you don't have to stop.
Do you have to take a little bit?
No, for some people it's just too much to do it on empty. And I would say also, when you come up, I found for myself, especially when I just demonstrated it, so when I did that breath in, I did the cough, then I breathed in, and felt the diaphragm, and then you do the swallow at the end. The swallow as well is like a really mild version of the cough. When you go, right, but you don't put out the sound, you feel that also kind of like, and that's why we use the swallow quite a lot. I haven't really taught it much yet, but we use the swallow quite a lot after inhales. Let's do one more. Any final questions before we move on? Keep your arms straight when you lean onto the legs.
Oh, the swallow at the end of the exhale.
No, swallow at the end of the inhale. So I've come, I'll talk through, we'll all do the last one together. I'll wait for you to finish the round you're on, and we'll do one more together. So listen carefully. So again, I'm avoiding using names because it's been recorded, but so if I'm just pointing, don't mean to be rude. So when you come down like this, what you don't want is to be something like this, because then you're still not leaning on your legs. So it doesn't matter, your hands can be here or here or here, but really lean and brace yourself. But this, again, something's changed when you do this, so keep the arms straight.
Quite hard to feel, because it's the abdomen working as well when you're down.
Yeah.
It's hard to know if it's the diaphragm.
Yeah.
Feel it into the diaphragm,
but it will become apparent. Yeah, that's true. It's at first you're like, is the diaphragm doing anything? Oh, I don't know, I'm not really sure. But mark my words, you do this for weeks and months, it's going to get clearer and clearer and clearer until eventually you're like, yeah, that's my diaphragm, except for that bit just there, that's not really working very well yet. It just gets really, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a really clear picture of it. So, one more. Also, I'd say keep your feet parallel. A good practice for this. The reasons I'll go into another time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Feeling through the body. Feeling through your legs. It's like you're breathing out through your feet. Brace on the arms. Okay, now finish your exhale. Then you suck the diaphragm up. You relax it down. You suck it up, you relax it down. You do as many as you can, but you want the diaphragm to be as relaxed as possible so it can move. When you need to come up, we're going to breathe in, come up, rest your hands here. Can you feel the diaphragm working? Swallow. Did you feel it kind of push out a little bit? And then exhale. Right. We'll leave it there, but if you do have any questions, ask before we move on.
Good for asthma.
Say again?
Good for asthma. I think it was.
I don't know. I mean, it's a breathe. I mean, I'm not sure actually, but you can tell me.
I'll tell you.
I don't think it's going to be bad for asthma.
No.
But it would digress too much to go into it now. But asthma's two different kinds of asthma, and one is more related to the kidneys. So, but yeah, we can come back another time.
Do you do the swallow when you're down?
You can do it anywhere.
You do the swallow.
You can do it. I do it after an inhale. Look, the thing with the inhale, especially if you've gone a little bit like, oh my god, I need to inhale. You get a little bit of that, and then you inhale. The chances are the inhale will kind of come up a little bit. Whereas we always want that kind of downward pressure, that's the coffee press. We always want that feeling. The inhale is the coffee press. It's a bit like you're inhaling, but you're a bit like, because you're freaking out a bit. So when you use the swallow after the inhale, it corrects that. If the breath has kind of come up a little bit, you swallow, and it pushes it back down again. So it's the peristalsis of the swallow. In yoga terms, there's an energy, it's not just physical, there's an energy, a direction of force. So the swallow, you're working that direction of force, the same way as vomiting is, apart from a physical action, it's a direction of force. So you use the swallow in that way. I feel like we should probably move on now, but if you've still got questions at the end, ask it, unless it's really urgent.
Well, no, I just thought it'd be helpful to do it one more time with the small inhale and swallow.
Alright, that's it. Small inhale. Small inhale and then the release.
Whilst we're down.
And then do the thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what you're suggesting, right?
No, but we can do it.
Oh, I thought that.
No, we can do it because there's no absolute rules.
Okay, wherever that goes.
There's no rules. It's if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. Let's try that. Alright, one last time. I'm breathing in. Breathe out. Keep breathing out. Breathing out even more. Okay, we're going to take a quarter inhale. Swallow it. Now do the action. Suck it up. Release it down. So you're probably getting a bit tired by now, so you're probably not going to be able to do quite so many. So when you've reached your limit, or before you max out entirely, come up. Place the hands around the diaphragm. Inhale. Use a swallow. And then exhale. You can come back to questions at the end. Let's move a little bit now. Alright. Let's go. Quite mindful of the time now. Yeah, it makes you hot. Alright. Let's do a little bit on this kidney, which ties into the same region. I'm going to do from the side, but you can do it facing me. So feet as they are already. So it's a Qigong movement for the kidneys. So breathing out, relax into your feet, relax your shoulders, and then inhaling, arms up. Keep your arms straight. You're going to exhale, keep your body straight, pivot from your hips. When you can't go any further, bend your knees, nice soft squat there. Hands come up to the inner ankle, inner legs, and you can either touch the leg or just trace off the surface of the leg, coming up, leg up, over and under the ribs. Face the hands in towards the kidney, bend your knees, exhale. It's like you're feeling the two magnets working on your kidneys. And then up. You're breathing in. You're breathing out. You can do these at your own pace. If you want to go a little bit quicker, you can. If you want to go a bit slower, you can. And then connecting from the inner edge of the foot, inner leg, coming up. Set, sort of centre line and around over the pelvis to the kidneys. Bend your knees, exhale, opening up the back, flattening out the back. You can do about 5 minutes. In your own time, you do this after recording, you can do as many as you want of these. Do maybe 8 or 10. Breathing in. And feel with your hands up that line. As you get here, so the arms are sort of directing, the hands are directing your attention into a certain area, finishing at the kidneys. Notice any sensations you get in the body as you do this. So I use my hands to feel into the arches of my feet, inner calves, inner thighs, then coming up over the belly and around to the kidneys, palms face in towards the kidneys, knees are bent, and again. So you might not be feeling much with this, you might just be getting a little stretch through the legs and the back, but with practice you can get some quite interesting sensations in the body happening. A bit hard to describe. You just see, tune in, see what you feel. And then one more in your own time, whatever speed you want to do it. Just feel the flow of the movement. Don't get bogged down by the technicalities. It really is far more about what you're feeling through the inner body. And after that one you can just release, take your feet a little bit wider, and we'll do another one. We did this one last week, so again for the kidneys. Yeah, I mean you can turn them up if you want to. I mean we are going to sit down in a bit, but as you wish. I've swept the floor, it's not too dirty I don't think. Alright, you ready? So from here, breathing in, down, breathing out, bend the knees, then pick up the hands, inhale, come back up. The hands don't come too high, just level with that kind of kidney region. Turn the hands, exhale, push. Now stay down, turn the hands, inhale, bending the wrist a little bit, feel into the kidneys, and as you exhale, just that feeling to your kidneys, relax. You breathe in, turn the hands, exhale, push, really connect to your legs, working the legs a little bit here, breathing in, swimming as you come up, hands facing towards the kidneys again, just that momentary connection, and exhale, push. Turn the hands, inhale, pull into the kidneys, exhale. We'll do it different this time. We'll come up, give the legs a rest. Breathing in, and down. Down, 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 down. Breathing in, pull up. Breathing out, push. Breathing in, coming up, swim. Facing into the kidneys. Exhale. Turn the hands, inhale, come up this time. Exhale, feel into the kidneys, relax the lower back. Inhale, turn the hand. Exhale, push. So you feel like you're pushing from the lower back here, connecting to your elbows. Inhale, coming up, swim. Exhale, push. Turn the hands. Inhale, stay down. Open. Exhale. Now, if this is burning your legs, some of you are quite low. You say, I'm not very low, I'm coming up a little bit. but don't come up fully. Don't straighten your legs. If you want to work it, you can be down. It's a bit much. As long as you feel like you're working your thighs a little bit. So you're feeling into your hands. Hands are soft, but really, what I'm feeling into is this. The hands are just helping me to do that. Imagine you've got a very large drop of water on your hands. You start rolling it around the palm of the hand. A ball of water, just rolling it around. But really, you're rolling the energy of water around your kidneys. So it's winter, kidney time. A little bit of attention on those organs is quite nice at this time of year. Alright, and then just let us gradually come to a stop. So we're going to go into what we did last week, well we've been doing it the last few weeks. I'll go to my left, you go to your right. Okay, so breathing in, turn your left palm down, and then you breathe out, shift your weight across, lift that right heel, and it's like you're pushing water down through your leg to your foot. Now turn your hands, you inhale, so you're pulling that big ball of water back up through your thigh, back to the kidneys, and now on your other side, just alternate sides. Now you're pushing water down through your right leg, and then that feeling of cracking the walnut under your heel, and then repeat. Inhale, drawing fluid up through the leg, especially the inner thigh, and then down the other leg. And the hands, drawing the fluid up the inner thigh. So we're tracing that same line that we did on the previous, the forward bending movement. And then just find your rhythm with it. So you don't come up on this one. You stay low and you just sort of shimmying across like this. The heel lifts. That's it. And then you turn the hand and then you sort of slide your weight across, keeping the hips the same height, connecting to the kidneys and down. So you might find you want to go slightly wider with the feet there. Okay, couple more. Really feeling into your inner legs. And what I was saying before, directing a flow, directing a force in the body. And that really is what we're doing with the movements. Where someone, I can't remember who it was, talking about vectors. The direction of force, that was a good word. Direction of force. No, it was on something I watched. I think it was a guy though. Or graphic designers, when he's the illustrator. Okay, back to centre. Like a defined line, and then again turn your hand over. Just stay with it, and again maybe just come back to the rolling the ball of water. And then gradually bring that to a stop. Turn the hands, exhale down the legs, feel down through the legs. Inhaling, arms up, and down and into Skandasthana. So we want to be, some of you need to be a bit wider for this one. Hands down to the ankles if you can reach, or just as far if not. Breathing in, head up. So you're going to go to your right, heels stay on the floor this time, and you keep the outer edge of the left foot down, and you inhale back to centre. Don't move the hands, just the hands stay put on the legs. Down on the other side, keep the outer edge of the right foot on the floor. Sorry, left foot on, so I've lost track which side you're doing now. For the straight leg, your straight leg, that foot stays flat, the outer edge of that foot stays flat. The feet here aren't square. They're not square. It's going to put a slight twist through your knee joint if you square your legs here, square your feet here. So feet turned out at an angle. Yeah, socks aren't always a good idea. Yeah, good. So in your own time, do a couple more. Now when you come up, as you come up, breathe into your kidneys, especially the side of the bent leg. Yeah, those feet.
Not those ones.
No. And then so this one, just go back to that side again. The other side of the side. Really got to keep that on the front. Yeah. That's the straight, don't let it bend, but really release. You don't have to go low, but let that lift. This bit, yeah, that action, that's good. But with the straight leg.
Do you breathe out when you come up or when you go down?
So you breathe in when you come up.
Breathe in when you come up.
Breathe in when you come up. One more, or two more, depending on what side you're on. Imagine you're being pulled up by the kidney. Your legs doing the work, but it's like your kidney's being pulled up towards the ceiling, and you're breathing into it. And when you're finished, we'll stay down, we'll square the feet. And you can take your fingertips onto the floor. Now, if you can't reach the floor with straight legs, then the alternative is to rest your hands on your waist. Okay, and then we're going to practice the diaphragm release here. Now, you can do this firstly with the head up and the spine up. I would recommend head up, breathing in, then a long out breath. And now your choice, you can take that quarter inhale if you need to, but if you can, do it on empty. And then do the exercise, suck up, release. Suck up, higher, release. Let's just do one more, suck up even deeper, and release. Now inhale, use the diaphragm to inhale, swallow, exhale, fold. You're taking your head towards the floor. Those of you with the hands on the floor, you can walk them back in line with the feet. Relax your neck. And then another 3 here. Feet do stay parallel for this one. Don't turn the feet out for this one. Parallel feet.
Your legs straight.
No, legs straight.
Legs straight.
Yeah, so if you need to put your hands on your hips, that's fine. But look at your feet. Can you see they're not lined up with the floorboards? Yeah, that's it, good.
So it's not like that, but like that.
Well, if you can reach the floor with straight legs, then do so. But don't strain yourself, obviously you have to take care with your back.
Yeah.
So if you want to put your hands on your waist or even your thighs, you modify slightly. Yeah, that's fine then, you do like that. But you'll find that, so for you, definitely when you're pulling in the diaphragm and doing the release, feel onto the side where you get the pain, where you get the tightness.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 3 breaths is fine. And then to come up, we will pull the heels inwards. So now your feet are turned out. And we'll come up from there. So a bit easier on the knees if you have your feet turned out. So we'll come up, bring the arms up over the head. Hands coming down. Exhaling. That's right. And then you can walk out, walk the feet out, and then, now when you step in, try and stay really stable through your pelvis when you step. I say that because sometimes people are down for quite a long time, and they come up and then they kind of do that, and the hips kind of go pop, pop, because they've been really obviously, you want to be quite stable for the hips when you come up, so you don't kind of do anything. Right, we are going to finish off. Have we got any questions? No, okay. So we're going to finish off with, this one, Did we do this one last week?
No.
I remember crouching down at some point, but quite what we
I
did.
remember we did. I know we didn't. We did Surya Namaskar.
Yeah, I was going to just do a couple of seated postures without the Surya Namaskar this week. But can I just see, the heels are up, well for most of you the heels will definitely be off the floor. Can I just see if this is alright for everyone? So feet together, no, just face me, it's fine. I'm doing it this way so you can see. Feet together, Careful with your knees. Knees go out wide. That's it. So feet together though. Big toes touching. Start again if you need to. Toes touching. That's it. Okay, so your arms are in between the knees. So the knees are quite wide. Now we're going to keep the spine up. There's two different positions, or two different versions. The spine is up, and then you go back to your limits of your balance. Heels getting as close to the floor as possible, but we're not bending forward yet. Yes, we all okay. No one's hurting their knees doing this. Toes are hurting. Well, as you get your heels closer to the floor, it will hurt your toes less. Alright, so this is called Malasana, garland pose. So we're going to do 3 rounds of the diaphragm exercise here, and when you're finished, I'll just show you now, when you're finished, you go down into a more of a forward bend version, and you do another 3 rounds. And then when you finish that, you're going to walk your hands behind you, sit down as gracefully as you can, and then we'll finish off with the forward bend, Paschimottanasana. So you can consider this as a very good preparation for the other forward bend. Alright, so in your own time. Breathing out. Breathing out more. More. Keep breathing out. Empty your lungs. Then, in your own time, suck it up. Release. Suck it up. Release. Remember to pay attention to the back as well as what's happening at the front. When you need to breathe in, bear down. Remember the coffee press. Breathe down and feel the diaphragm working. So we're paying more attention to the back of the body here, more into the kidneys. And then use the swallow just to correct any breath that's flown up. And then a normal exhale. So that's 1 round. So you do 2 more. You might find that as the rounds go on, the heels will start to go a little bit closer to the floor. Be really conscious of the disc, the whole diaphragm. Where can you feel it pulling up freely? Where is it really stuck? Where are you able to feel it release back down nice and softly? Where is it? Where's the no feeling? What's the grey area where you can't feel anything? Maybe around the area of the liver, maybe more around the stomach, maybe it's more around the kidneys. When you've done your 3, remember to use the swallow after each inhale. And then when you've done 3, now you go into the forward bending version. So 6 breaths in total, or 6 rounds in total. When you start to take your chest closer to the floor, ideally you want your heels also to go closer to the floor, because you're counterbalancing now. So as my body goes forward and down, in theory, you should be able to get your heels lower. And some of you eventually will be able to get the heels all the way down on the floor. But don't strain. If you've had any injuries to your back, any niggly areas, parts that sometimes go into spasm, well, for you especially, feel what's happening in that part of the back when you try to move the diaphragm and you try to suck it up. It can feel like you have an adhesion in the tissue, like where like a shirt's been sewn wrong, and it's kind of the stitches are pulling some part of the some part of the shirt in. You can't move properly in it. So you use these movements, these internal exercises to try and free up some of that. All right. You're getting hot.
No.
You got a question?
Is it too much in the forward bend?
It's too much. Okay, if it's getting too much, if it's too long for you in the forward bend, then sure, come out earlier. It's okay. So to come out, you can put your hands behind you. Put your hands behind you. So
I was just going to run up.
If you're able to sit down from here, you just bring your hands round behind you and you sit. Yeah, well, to be fair, you are staying in it longer than I thought you were, but that's because your breaths are longer than I thought they would be. You don't, you don't have to stay in it that long. Yeah. I think we've got, what is it, three divers class. Yeah, you don't have to stay. So, look, when you do this, the bottom line is you stay long enough to feel like you've done a bit of work on it. That's it. It's not like I have to do 6. It's just like, do a few. Yeah. Does it? Good.
The forward one is obviously you're more sort of squash to
Yeah.
So it's much easier.
Well, exactly that.
This bit
Yeah.
really loosens
Yeah.
and just
The back. Yeah, exactly.
Like you say, the elastic, you just feel like the elastic has lost its really thinginess and it's just got a bit softer.
Yes. That's it. So anything where you're bending backwards, naturally it will be more towards the front of that disc, and when you're bending forward, it's going to be more towards the back of that. I mean, that's just natural, yeah? And likewise if you're doing side bends, which we haven't done any of. So yeah, it's like that. So just explore it. It's an exploratory exercise. I think we've got, a few minutes left, started late. So let's, just 3 breaths then, in the classic forward bend, Paschimottanasana, which means west side stretch or something. West stretch? West facing, thank you for that. So it's not, so people when they think of forward bend, it's the front of the body, well there is that component, but really we're thinking about the back of the body. So when you go forward here, it's that little kidney area, especially, well, the entire back of the body, including your hamstrings and your neck and the soles of your feet, but case in point we're going to focus on here. So you catch either your big toes or you can hold the sides of the feet and legs straight or bent, but catch hold of something. So if you need to bend your legs, bend them. And then we're going to breathe in, look up, we're going to get the extension first, and then we're going to go forward. Now the last thing you did, the squat, told you everything you need to know about your back and your belly on this one. So just go to whatever your limit is without trying to force beyond it, and then 3 rounds with the exhale retention. So later on in future classes we'll be exploring this and feeling more into the lower part of the abdomen and into the pelvis as well, but for now you can just keep your attention purely on the diaphragm area and the kidneys. And remember, softly release the diaphragm down. When you inhale into the kidney points on the back, and then use the swallow. Okay, what was the question there? I didn't hear it. Check you're not tensing up in your neck or tensing up in your jaw. And when you've had enough and you come up, we will finish with a counter pose. So we'll do 2 different ones. We'll all do the easy one first. So you come up now anyway, especially the free divers. Feet apart, hands behind, and you keep your toes down for this version. And then you lift up, look towards your knees, or you can look up to the ceiling. Straighten your elbows, keep your toes down. Toes, lift higher, and then feel where are you feeling restricted in this one. Might be just in the thighs, or it might be around the diaphragm somewhere. Certainly is for me. Can you feel that around the back anywhere? Around the front?
Tops of my arms.
Tops of your arms, okay.
Everywhere.
Alright, and back down. Now you can either repeat that one, or you can go for the more challenging version. So this is called Pravottanasana. remember what that one means. Remember the meaning of that one? Purvottanasana.
Up facing.
Inhale up. And you can take the head back on this one. If the legs are straight, you can take the head back. And then try and lift up that midsection. And you can hold that for about 3 breaths. And down. Cramps here. And then we... Well, I think... for me, when the diaphragm starts to free up, it releases the heat. Could be this heat gets stuck in the front of the body, the channels in the front of the body gets held there. But also those kidney... Well, it's a little bit higher than the kidney points actually. It's in the Ayurvedic system. It's the points where the pitta is restricted, so the fire gets restricted. And in the Chinese system, they're diaphragm points, and they're to do with the movement of blood through that diaphragm area. So when the blood gets stuck, it gets stuck there. And if you think about what the diaphragm is doing and its role as you breathe, there's a big role in the movement of blood through there. So the systems do cross over a bit. Let's finish literally because we start at 25 past today. So if we just maybe 1 minute, we just sit. You can sit in any position. If this is comfortable, you can do normal cross legs. If anyone can sit in Padmasana, you can. I've noticed. I know for some people this is very difficult to sit. So literally just 1 minute. And for this minute, you're going to feel what's going on with your breathing, what's going on with the diaphragm, and what effect does it have on your mind if you are more connected to the diaphragm when you're breathing. And like with all the other parts of the class, if you're not sure if it's working, you can just take your hands around the lower ribs and feel, check, is it doing what you think it's doing? Okay, and then just let your mind come back into the room. So I'll leave you with a thought, especially anyone who's doing some meditation practice or any kind of sitting practice. Something I've discovered belatedly. So I think we all know that if you breathe up into your upper chest, the energy comes up and you're just really in your mind. And an extreme of that is someone having a panic attack. Everything's up here. However, when you just breathe down into your belly, as I mentioned last week, and as I've recently discovered, you can breathe into your belly and pelvis very effectively without really utilising your diaphragm very, very well. So you can feel very calm, very at peace, but you're also in a bit of a vague state. You're kind of a bit of a dreamy thing. You kind of go off and it's all a bit, there's a word for it, I can't think right now, but it's not, you're not very present, you're just kind of out there. Not quite. But if you breathe into your abdomen and pelvis, but it's with the diaphragm and you're conscious of the diaphragm moving, it brings you into the moment. It brings you right into the present moment and into your body, and you feel you're relaxed. You can feel it's moving, but you're there, out there somewhere. So it's an interesting thing, especially in terms of the model, the Taoist model, where the human being standing in this sort of star shape, arms up, is the bridge between heaven and earth. Yeah, Shen, this great spirit above, earth, the material world below, and standing between the two like a bridge is the human being. But in the body, the upper body is the Shen and the spirit, the lower body is the earth, and the middle part, of course, that separates the two like the surface of water is the diaphragm. So in that context, it's interesting that once you really connect the diaphragm, and going back to what I said, diaphragm points on the back, same place as the pitta points in Ayurveda, where the heat gets stuck. When you release through there, the blood is moving, and it has an effect on the mind, which I won't go into now. So, yeah, bring it into, especially those doing breathing, just really feel into this. Is it working? Are you in the present, or are you wibbly wobbly world, but relaxed? Alright, I'll leave you with that. Let's just seal the session, hands together, and then to the space between the eyebrows, fingertips to the lips, feel into your throat, and then to the heart. And then pivoting from the navel, exhale, and inhale. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And well done, everyone, watching the recording. All right, let's go. Would you like to do the honours?